YouTube right now. Take it away, Bonte.
What up, Steph? You know Steph's going to make an appearance at one of these Trey concerts, huh? You know he's coming out.
Absolutely.
And he's been working out with Trey Young. He's been working out with everybody. Steph, don't give him all your secrets. Jeez. We got to win another one. Maybe Steph's so good, he's like, you can have this play. My playbook works. I can run the whole thing.
He's got wine coming out.
He's got the whiskey.
Is that what it is? Whiskey?
Yeah,
I thought it was wine as well.
Gentleman's cut. Gentleman's cut.
Are you a whiskey drinker?
Used to be.
Yeah? What was your whiskey?
I don't know. I was drinking cheap stuff. I didn't have no money. It's whiskey, man. It didn't matter. $2 whiskey, Bullet. I don't know. Jameson.
Jameson.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm not a big whiskey guy. I mean, I'm not a big alcohol guy now. I got bottles in my house. I don't even
alcohol.
What are you talking about, Chris? What are you talking about? No, Steph is listening. He always listens. Stoney, what's up, Stoney?
As you could tell from the doc.
You know, I mean, not all of it was good. It was like, Warriors lose to the Pelicans. Steph shoot 20% from 3 in the month of January. Oh, the Celtics are too athletic, too fast. They're younger. They're deeper. Oh, my God, we're in trouble. Shasky, yeah, I don't feel good about this series.
Well, I mean, went wrong, make a documentary.
Damn. You imagine if Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl? Oh, my God.
Mark Willard might be there to hand it to him. Right next to Mike Silver.
No, listen.
Florio right behind him.
I wasn't going there. I was going, Brock Purdy stinks. I watched him in the Big 12. He stinks.
I wasn't as slanderous as you. I remember talking to Langford last year. It was so funny. We did the shows right out of the training camp, and I remember, I think it was the second day, he was like, what do you see at the quarterbacks? And I glossed over Sudfeld, and I literally said something to the effect of, I can see what Kyle sees in Purdy when it comes to being a placeholder to just get the ball out to these training guys that they're working on, because he does look good in the drills.
Right.
I thought he looked good in the drills. I did not think he was anything special at all. Dismissive.
Oh,
but I did say something to the effect of, he looks good in the drills. And Langford's like, really? Really? And I remember we were talking about it. I was like, yeah, he kind of looked good in the drills. He's super small. It almost wasn't, it was just, and boy, were we all wrong.
Boy.
No one was paying attention.
Nobody was. Jalen Frey, Bonte responsible for getting Steph out of his shooting slump, according to the doc. He was watching. Oh, yeah, Bonte? Oh, yeah? Damn. We're going to make a lot of docs for all the wrong reasons.
That's all right.
All the wrong reasons. Hey, but I tell you what, these self-righteous Giants fans on the internet, I swear to God, you better pray to God that Posey never does anything in terms of management or managing this baseball team. Because remember Dead Wrong, when you had the whole Dead Wrong thing?
Oh, yeah, it's one of my favorite bits.
Well, we're bringing that bit back. I'll bring the baseball bat to the studio, and I'm wearing eye black during that bit.
So you like the I'm Bout It video where we'll all have batting gloves on and baseball bats?
Exactly.
I also contend, as we talk about underrated verses, Mia X on I'm Bout It, one of the most underrated verses of a female ever. She outflowed Master P.
What about Somebody's Always Watching Me?
Oh, I mean, come on.
Mia X destroyed Silk the Shocker in that album.
Silk, I mean, Silk's trying to find the beat.
Let's go to Benjamin Allbright. He's so bad. He's on tour right now.
He was so bad.
He was so bad. He was good.
Game wasn't that bad.
I know it wasn't that bad.
Because Beats by the Pound was at the height of their heights.
The album cover was better than any song on there. Come on, man. Charge it to the game. All right, Benjamin Allbright, our good friend, man. Look, Benjamin Allbright, down in on all things Broncos and the NFL. Broncos insider for KOA Radio in Colorado. He also got you blocked, Shasky, by Michael Silver on Twitter. He got you blocked. That's how much juice Benjamin Allbright has.
I might have been able to do it on my own.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. Big Ben, what's happening, my man? Long time no talk.
Hey, look, I'm taking credit for that block. I take credit for each and every block. And, if you get blocked by Michael Bronze, that's so much the better.
Hey, let me ask you, Ben.
He went from silver to bronze.
Let me ask you something. We're talking about our, 50 years of hip-hop and just our favorite rappers of all time. I don't even know if you like rap, but if you do, or if you have a favorite artist, who would that be?
Oh man, you talking about flow? You talking about lyrics? I mean, we're talking about just lyrics. Probably Montana 300. If we're talking about if we're talking about flow, I mean, man, how can you not put Tupac on and just not feel whatever it is and just not feel it? Like there's not a bad track that man put out. So yeah, all time favorites. That probably goes up there.
Who's you've been out there in Colorado? The rap scene. I don't know. Has there ever been a rapper come out of Colorado or Denver or anything like that? No,
I'm sure there is.
Local stuff.
Unless it was a funny white guy. So,
all right, Broncos tomorrow against the Niners at Levi's. Look, I don't know if you were shocked by this because you're tapped in with the Denver Broncos, but I'm watching that Cardinals game last week thinking, why is Russell Wilson playing into the second quarter? And he took some shots. I mean, the Cardinals were running cover zero blitzes. They were bringing all out blitzes and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is Russ doing in the game? So what is the game plan for the Broncos here this preseason?
Sean Payton is sparing nothing with the starters. Like they're going to score, they're not getting out of the game, kind of thing. Like he's just putting them through it. He's tired of the stuff from last year, and whether you agree with that or not, that's his philosophy, and that's what he goes with. And yeah, it took an embarrassing fourth drive for the Denver Broncos to put up points against probably the worst team in the league, Arizona Cardinals, who are not favored in a single game this year in any sports book. So that was a new low, I think, in terms of humility for an offense. But they're trying to get this thing together. I mean, clearly they were throwing the ball. The Broncos were throwing the ball a lot. They're not going to be a throwing team this year. They'll be a running team early, but they're throwing the ball a lot, trying to get the passing skeleton down, and they're just trying to make the thing work. And unfortunately, the offense still looks like a newborn giraffe trying to do the Cupid shuffle.
Yeah, Russ has been such a thorn in our side for so many years for Niner fans. It's lost so much of its luster. Like anytime, even if it's the preseason, anytime you play Russ, people just say, I hate Russell Wilson. I hate Russell Wilson. What's the deal with Russ? Like, how is he being viewed in Denver right now?
Well, I mean, the shine has come off from when he was first traded. When he was first traded for, I mean, he couldn't do anything wrong in this town. But as time wore on and there weren't results, that shtick starts to wear a little thin. You never know when you're up at the podium if you're talking to Russell Wilson, the human being, or Russell Wilson, the brand. There's the slogans, the always cheery kind of not saying anything, saying stuff. And I started referring to it last year because we were losing so much.
We'll get Ben on. He's on fire right now. We'll get him right back on. Love it. He's on fire. Man, I just saw a tweet, too, that's going to blow everybody away. Ted Wynn. We all like Ted Wynn from The Athletic. FB_film analyst. No one asked for it here, but here are 8 Darnold passing tips from last week. I dare you to name a recent 49 quarterback with more arm talent. Back to Benjamin Allbright. Go ahead, Ben. Continue that one because you're on fire. You're on a roll there.
Hey, I'm sorry. I thought you guys were dropping me like a bad Denver rapper. So, I was just talking about Russ and how his positivity comes across as toxic positivity. He doesn't deal in reality when you're losing football games. So that the image of him has kind of been tarnished, and Broncos fans are hoping he could put a head together with Sean Payton, but they're skeptical.
Jerry Jeudy, he was in that wide receiver class because we talk a lot about Brandon Ayuk here, kind of got lost in the shuffle. Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Rieger, who's now in Minnesota. What's up with Jerry Jeudy? It feels like he hasn't exploded. I guess he's been hampered by drop passes. Are Bronco fans or people inside that organization expecting big things from Jerry Jeudy this season?
Well, yeah, there is a big expectation. Jerry has all the tools in the world. He's got he's an incredible route runner. He's got a great dead leg, and he'll shake you. But the hands have been a problem. There's been too many drops. We've still seen those out here at practice this year. And then, kind of on top of that, his attitude. He's got a little Randy Moss in him. Like if he's not getting the ball, he's sulking. He's not firing off the line and selling that they're passing. He's not. He starts to sulk if you don't get the ball early in the game. And for a guy who's coming up on his contract here, that's a problem. So this was a big-time evaluation year for Jerry Jeudy, and if he doesn't put it all together this year, he won't be here.
As someone who's been very tapped in on just the Niners when it comes to this quarterback thing, the Trey Lance, whether it's the draft selection, how he's been handled, everything. What do you make of just the rhetoric nationally regarding Trey Lance? It feels very gratuitous and over the top at this point. Not that he's lighting the world on fire. No one's going to say that. But why is there so much? It feels like just like animosity toward the young man. Why? What is your assessment on that?
That I don't know. I actually asked that question yesterday. My radio partner Nick Ferguson used to do a coaching internship there with you guys with the Niners. We're just talking about that and why it feels like everybody's just out to slander Trey Lance. I mean, the kid's a young guy. You knew he was going to be a project when you got him. He was a guy who had very few snaps since high school, thanks to COVID. And if you know a guy's a project when you draft him, why are you disappointed when he's a project when he gets there? That's your job. Your job is to get there and turn him into the best that he can be. That's what coaching is. And
right.
So, at the end of the day, I think the national perspective is, hey, we've seen guys like Josh Allen turn it in 3 years, 2.5 years, turn it into something big. Why haven't we seen it on Trey Lance yet? And it's unfair. Trey's a younger guy who's going to take longer to develop. And if he's not in San Francisco, after training camp, if he's somewhere else, I hope that team has the patience because the upside is there.
Benjamin and Allbright, KOA Radio in Colorado, dialed in on all things in the NFL and the Denver Broncos here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. So what's Purdy? Are you a believer in Purdy? Like a lot of our fan base here is saying we got to see it to believe it for much more than 8 games. What's your take on Brock Purdy, Ben?
Well, I mean, believer's an interesting word because what does that mean, right?
Right.
I believe that you can win games with Jimmy Garoppolo, but I don't think that in most cases you're making Super Bowls and winning Super Bowls with Jimmy Garoppolo, right? And the Niners knew that, and that's why they punted on him eventually.
I guess I should rephrase and say franchise quarterback because the Niners are looking for a franchise guy, and a lot of people believe that Brock Purdy could be that it. You hear it from John Lynch, you hear it from Kyle Shanahan, you hear it from some of the players that he's got that it. And when I think of that it, I think of a franchise guy, and I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, I think he's a guy you can win games with. I don't think he's dragging a team to a Super Bowl, but if you've got a good enough defense, a good enough run game, and a good enough skill position players around him, you can win games and maybe get to and maybe win a Super Bowl. If you're talking franchise guy, I usually think of somebody who can just pick him up and carry him to a Super Bowl, and Brock's not that guy. But they know that. I mean, this is what you say about quarterbacks in public. I mean, when Paxton Lynch was here in Denver, they were talking about what a franchise quarterback he is. It's just what you say. So, end of the day, look at the results. Brock Purdy's a good quarterback, and you can win football games with him. But if you need somebody to drag you to a Super Bowl, I'm not sure he's the guy.
Yeah. Wow. That's really interesting. I didn't even know. I can't believe you said it. You don't think he's the guy at all for anybody?
Who, Brock? I mean, he's a good quarterback. You can win games with him, but that's the same thing we were saying about Jimmy G. I mean, at the end of the day, you can win games with him, but how far is he going to take you? And are you willing to be, the Marty Schottenheimer franchise where you're always making the playoffs but never making the Super Bowl?
Wow. What do you think his value, I love doing this exercise. What do you think his value is around the league in terms of if someone wanted Brock Purdy, because right now, if I said Trevor Lawrence, I mean, Jacksonville would never trade him. It'd be multiple first rounders. They would just never do it. What do you think Brock Purdy's value would be? Hypothetically.
I think that's an interesting question because, Trey Lance, I think, has the higher upside, but Brock's more ready to play right now. So I think if a franchise desperately needed someone right now, they would be willing to give up more for a Brock Purdy than a franchise that's looking to stash an upside project. So I don't know. I mean, a quarterback price in the league for someone that young with that kind of ability is probably a pair of seconds, maybe a 1 and a 2.
Oh, interesting. Sam Darnold, if Purdy doesn't go tomorrow and Shanahan may get him a couple series, we'll see about that. But then Sam Darnold, he'll get the chance to start tomorrow night against the Denver Broncos. And we got mixed feelings on Sam Darnold. We've seen him for 5 seasons. We've seen the 55 interceptions. We've seen the ghost clip over and over and over. Can Sam Darnold possibly revive his career under Kyle Shanahan with this system that Shanahan runs?
I mean, it's certainly possible. He's not as old as I think everybody thinks he is. He came out pretty young, and so I don't know that he's reached his pinnacle. He just needs some consistency. Sam Darnold needed good coaching and consistency. He's just never had that. And so, I'm interested to see if they can keep him around for a season and then kind of bring him back the next season, see where he's at. That might be a possibility. And then at that point, maybe you deal with Sam Darnold, recoup some draft picks, and continue to stockpile. So, I'd love to see it. I'm not betting the farm on it, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah. Well, everybody keeps saying he's got elite arm talent. I hear people around here say he's got the most elite arm in years, possibly a 49ers franchise history. I'm like, yo, slow down here. I guess the arm is okay, but we saw Jim Druckenmiller. He was like a human machine out here. He lasted 2 games and he was out of the league out of Virginia Tech. So this whole arm talent thing, I don't really care about that, Ben. Can you get the ball out on time? Can you be accurate? Right. And can you take care of the ball in the pocket? He fumbles a lot, and I think people don't even see that when it comes to Sam Darnold. It's kind of wild how all of a sudden he gets propped up after we see 5 years of tape of just inconsistent quarterback play. Yet we haven't seen Trey Lance for more than 4 games, and he's already a bust. It's weird. Very strange.
Yeah, there's no bigger coach killer than air quotes arm talent. Everybody wants to see the guy with the big cannon and all that kind of stuff, and that's fine. But, the 49ers franchise of all teams should know that guys with middling arm talent in terms of being able to throw the ball vertically can still be great quarterbacks. When you go back and you look at like a Joe Montana, it's a gold standard. So, Peyton Manning didn't have the biggest arm. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So, it really is more about the ability to be cerebral, understand what you're doing, get the ball out on time, get the ball to the right place where only your receiver can make a play on it. And if you happen to have a big arm that can fire a laser like Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen, so be it. But if you can't, Chad Pennington won games in this league, and that guy didn't have a cannon. He had a water pistol.
So I have an interesting perspective on Sean Payton. I'm jaded by the New Orleans Bounty Gate because it was the Niners and cut the head off the snake, him and Greg Williams, fair or not. But I've always thought this guy's a blowhard. He's a great offensive mind. I don't deny that. But he has some big playoff losses on his resume. What's he been like? Because, man, all the rhetoric about what guys can and can't wear on the sidelines and everything, giving Mike McGlinchey $50 million in free agency, I got a feeling that he's going to underwhelm some people. What's the sense right now on Sean Payton in Denver?
I think from the fan base, it's nothing but glowing. I think you and I are simpatico in terms of the thought process. And I'm not a big fan. I think he's hyper-controlling for no reason. I think he has, arbitrary rules for no reason. I think the legend of Sean Payton doesn't match the resume of Sean Payton. I don't think there's much separating him from Mike McCarthy when you look at the resume.
Wow.
Outside of Drew Brees, he didn't really do much, and so I think that I'm skeptical. I'm watching this. I wasn't a big fan when he was hired, but I'm trying to be objective in covering him.
You coming out here to the Bay Area this weekend, Ben, or you staying out there in Denver?
I'm out here in Denver for this one. I gotta co-anchor the pregame coverage, so unfortunately missing this one. But I'll be out there next time. We'll have to get a morning roast thing together here, and we'll do an offline roast and tape that. It won't be safe for the airwaves.
Yeah, no. Well, it could be safe for the airwaves. I mean, our roasters, it's a who's who. You should see what they give us for gifts here for Christmas
we
gifts.
Get canisters all the time.
Yeah, all the time, man. I mean, we'll get you in studio. We'll do it in studio. Then we'll do it out of studio. Ben, you're always good to us, man. Thanks for the time today.
Absolutely, guys. Take care.
See you, buddy.
Benjamin Allbright. At Allbright NFL on Twitter, KOA Radio in Colorado. Dialed in on all things with the Denver Broncos. Broncos insider, and he knows about the NFL. Very interesting takes on Purdy, Brock,